legendary Super Saiyan, Son Goku!
Alright then, we're finally back for here again, another LF/Summonable Ultra tier list. It's about time I finally do one. I guess this will be the end of 2022 edition / start of 2023 edition of this tier list, I guess. I don't know. Regardless, we're gonna be finally ranking all these characters. I think we have a total of 42 individual units to cover, so I'm gonna try my best to cover through them as quick as possible. So if I don't really give like an in-depth explanation on every character in the world and all that, keep in mind, I feel like it should be pretty obvious in terms of like quite a few characters and where I place them and all that. Also, it might be difficult for some characters in terms of actually ranking them properly, just because I haven't used them in a while. For an example, I don't know, like Goten or like Cooler. It's been a little bit since I've used them. Full Power Frieza, Jiren, and especially Kid Buu. Characters like them, I might not be able to rank the absolute best and the most accurate. So again, this is just based off of my experiences, my opinions on the characters as of right now. You don't have to agree with any of my takes. Feel free to disagree. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Without further ado, let's finally hop into this tier list and all that. So as per usual with these tier lists, I do tend to get rid of, or I do tend to just get B tier out of the way. So let's just immediately do this. Obviously, Beerus is definitely in B tier 100% because he's just aged at this point. Who else deserves to be in B tier? Honestly, this guy, he's just aged at this point. I know last time I had him in A tier just because obviously recently I had to use him more recently at that point. He actually did pretty solid, but especially now with this guy existing more so, you know, he's aged. Yeah, I'm just gonna put him back down in B tier. I'm not gonna lie. Goten as well. He's just been replaced by Gogeta Blue. Even like Ultra Broly, you know, Rival Gohan, blast-based character and very strike-based meta, definitely not. So yeah, B tier 100%. UI Sign Goku, yep, he's just not really that great. He needs a Zenkai. Honestly, this guy needs a plot equip. He's pretty bad, to be honest. Who else? Oh, this guy 100% being B tier. I know last time he was probably an A tier, to be honest, probably in the lower end of A tier, but this guy just unimpressed me so much in the recent video that I did on him. I don't know. The funny thing is, the free-to-play unit is literally what this guy should be. The free-to-play unit is like way better. It's not even close. That guy actually impressed me big time. So LF Broly honestly needs his Zenkai already. It's kind of sad to say that, but he does genuinely need one. Honestly, I might put this guy here. I might put him there just because the thing is, Vegeta, I have not used him in so long. I might do a video on him eventually soonish. I don't know. It's just I've not used him in so long, but it's just he's not really that great. He doesn't really have like a proper team to be ran on. He's red with Beast Gohan still running around and like Zamasu. You know, quite a few powerful blue characters in the meta. Ultra Super Gogeta as well is kind of back into the fray of things. So that hurts him big time, you know. Obviously his endurance, yeah, could be cool, but there's characters that can nullify with like Gogeta, even Rose, all that stuff. So yeah, he's just not really that great. So you know what, yeah, B tier. I think that's B tier for now. Again, in terms of individually ranking the characters, I'm not really going to go too much into that. In terms of B tier, I don't really care in terms of ranking the characters individually. So there's that. We got B tier out of the way. So now we can move into some other characters. I guess let's just start off with the big boy himself, Ultra Gogeta Blue. Should be pretty damn obvious where I'm going to put him, so that's why I'm going to talk about him now. Ultra Gogeta Blue's #1. He's just the best unit in the game easily. Like, if you don't agree, definitely an interesting take for sure. I feel like for the most part is a universal opinion shared across everyone pretty much that Gogeta Blue's #1. He's just ridiculous. He does insane damage. He can actually tank decently well, at least from my experiences. His unique gauge is ridiculous. You basically can't use blast cards or any range type attacks versus him freely once he has his gauge built up. Obviously, he has multiple ways of going to just type neutral in general. Obviously, card draw speed, special coverage amplification as well. Multiple ways of getting that. Just blast armor as well. Like, his special cover changes as well. Like, he's just ridiculous. Also, nullifying endurance on Rising Rush and getting Vanish back. He just literally does everything. He does everything other than supporting, but I guess he's technically supporting you by being the best unit in the game and just carrying your team like by tenfold. So I guess there's that. I don't know. Gogeta Blue is just the best. Like, he's just the best. I will say one thing about Gogeta Blue is I feel like they did a pretty good job, and not only in terms of animations, because I definitely feel like he's the first Ultra in the game, especially Summonable Ultra, that actually genuinely feels like an Ultra. They actually put effort into him, so I like that. But outside of that, in terms of also designing his kit, he's very, very good, and he's the best unit in the game easily. But I feel like he's also designed in a way where he doesn't feel so broken, at least to me personally, after using him for a while and after fighting him basically almost every match. I don't know, he just doesn't feel like Beast Gohan level of unfairness and just brokenness. I don't know, maybe it just hasn't hit me yet in terms of like the annoyance factor of fighting against him constantly, but at least Beast Gohan already by this point, I feel like I was already dreading fighting him by this point. Like, I feel like Ultra Gogeta Blue is just designed very well overall. He's just amazing. He's the best unit in the game, simple as that. Speaking of Beast Gohan, he's number 2. He's still ridiculous, obviously. I do think he's now above Tag Force. Previously, I would have had Tag Super Saiyan 4s above Beast Gohan just because of the fact that prior to Gogeta Blue's release, I would have said GT was probably my pick for the best team in the game, but as of right now, I do think GT is still a top 5 team for sure, but I do think Movies obviously has the advantage over them with Gogeta Blue now being a thing, so they are definitely still probably number 3 for me personally, but Beast Gohan definitely is better than 100%, and I will say probably once 4s fall off boost, I feel like Beast is definitely going to age better compared to 4s, but we shall see. I don't know, but definitely still very good, still worthy of potentially being in Z plus tier, so therefore I'm going to put them in there. Now we can move on to Z tier, I guess. So, you know, let's do a couple units in Z tier, might as well. LS Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I do think is Z tier worthy. Not quite in Z plus tier, but he's a very good unit indeed. The best Senkai in the game as of right now. Essentially the glue stick for GT right now. He's just absolutely amazing in every single way possible. He just works so well in that team, amplifies these guys heavily, and just works so well alongside them. It's just, he's an amazing unit all around. I didn't really explain much else, so there's that. Future Gohan as well, just an amazing unit, still valuable to this day, approaching 2 years old now, which is ridiculous. The fact that he's still a top 10 unit is ridiculous. I know he got his plot equip, obviously that definitely helps, but still, it's just the fact that a unit like him is aged this well is actually ridiculously good. So props to Future Gohan. Again, I don't need to explain much about him. We know why he's up here, so there's that. Just an insanely valuable unit all around. So, you know what, let's rank Cell real quick, might as well. Let's go a little bit out of order. I'm gonna be honest, I've not used Cell in a while, nor have I fought against them. Yes, we are in a Hybrid Saiyan heavy meta, I guess, kinda, but at the same time, there's a lot of yellow units, being obviously LS Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Future Gohan, even Ultra Super Vegeto's kind of back into the meta somewhat. I don't know, he's just not really in the safest spot, and there's mainly just one green character in the meta right now that's really prominent, which is Tag Force, but they can even swap in the Vegeta, so I don't know. Also, Cell's teams are not really the greatest right now. Future, I feel like it's just better off to use Rose. Androids are not really that great right now. Powerful opponent, you just much rather use Broly, so therefore Cell, I'm gonna put him in S tier. I feel like he still has value, and it's still a good unit for sure, but he's just not in the craziest spot right now. His team's holding back severely, and he's just been replaced on quite a few of his teams as well, so that's the main thing. So therefore, I'm going to put him in S tier. I feel like that's a fine spot to place him. Vegito Blue as well, I think he's kind of he's been replaced on his teams. Obviously, now Zamasu exists. He's definitely the superior option in every single way possible over Vegito Blue, so that definitely does affect them quite a bit. Would I put Vegito Blue above Cell? I mean, he has the value on fusions, I guess, being quite a bit better now. Obviously, God Key, he can be pretty good bench for Zamasu, the Zenkai. You know what? Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt just because obviously fusions, Ultra Gogeta Blue, and all that. In case if you don't have Ultra Super Gogeta, just in case and all that. And also, I feel like as a bench unit, I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in that aspect that he's a better bench unit than Cell. I don't know if that really matters. I don't know. There's that. It doesn't really matter. But S tier, yeah. Vegeta Blue at this point, individually, could definitely use a plot equip for sure. Please give it to him. It's been over 2 years now since he hasn't received one. So I don't know what they're doing with that, man. Full Power Frieza is a difficult unit for me to rank just because he can maybe still put in work in the right situation. Obviously, his endurance simplification definitely be solid, but Eloise just not in the best spot. So therefore, I'm going to probably put him in S tier, probably around that range. I think that's a fine spot. Cooler, I'm probably going to put above. I'll put Cooler in SS tier. I feel like I'll put Cooler in SS tier, but he's probably going to end up being in the lower end of SS tier. Probably on the verge of dropping out the S. It's just, he's not in the best spot in the meta right now. Again, LOE. LOE's probably maybe like one really top tier unit away from really coming back into the fray of things, but I don't know. As of right now, Cooler can definitely put in work in the right situation. He can definitely still be solid. But I don't know, he's just, he does need a bit more help, and he's not in the best spot right now. So I'll put him there for now, but maybe I could drop him down a little bit more. I don't know, he's definitely going to be in the lower end of SS tier, though, by the end of this tier list. Red Gohan, I think A tier. Hybrid Saiyans, yes, but Hybrid Saiyans are obviously more strike-based. You're running Pan over him, but I'll give him the benefit of that just because he's on Hybrid Saiyans. And in the right situation, the right setup, he can maybe still put in work. I don't know. Let's just keep him A tier for now. Jiren, again, a unit I do not really use, so I cannot really rank him that efficiently, but I'll put him there. I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know. Again, I've not used him in so long. I know he has Plat Equip. I don't know. I can't really comment on him that much. I'll put him in S tier there. I'm not really going to say much else about Jiren. I cannot really say much else because I haven't used him. I haven't seen him, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, moving on from Jiren. Bardock, I do genuinely think he's probably deserving of being somewhere around here to be. Bardock, again, I used him pretty recently. He genuinely surprised me. He definitely still struggles from not having a proper team that he can truly fit on, and he's like a mainstay option on. But outside of that, with his Plat Equip, if you have him at higher stars, he can definitely put in work in the right situation. You do not want to underestimate him whatsoever. So I'm tempted to even put him like SS tier, to be honest. I'm tempted. Either that or like top of S tier. But I mean, I'll put him in SS tier. You know what? I'll nice him. I'll put him in the top of SS tier. I might move him down to bottom or to top of S, but for now, I'll keep him there. For now. I don't know. We can come back to him later. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. The thing is about him is obviously, like, realistically, individually, I'll probably put him like A tier. But GT is a pretty damn solid team right now. But then again, are you running him on GT? No. Obviously, if you have Tag 4s, they're the way superior option. If you have even like Zenkai full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he's just a better option as well. So therefore, I mean, on GT, I did use him semi-recently as well, alongside like 17, LF Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He definitely put in work for sure. He actually kind of surprised me, I'm not gonna lie. So you can definitely put in work on GT in the right setup, in the right situation, but now the Gogeta Blue also exists. You have a very powerful purple. Granted, yes, Gogeta can go neutral, but you know what? I'm gonna put him A tier. Yeah, GT's a good team and he can put in work, but still, you're running these guys over him, so therefore that kind of cucks him. And yeah, I'm just gonna put him A tier, honestly. Yeah, screw it. Majin Vegeta. I did use him recently. He's definitely still a good unit for sure. It's just obviously the meta's maybe not the most preferable for him. There's not as many. There's a few Gokus, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, he's my boy, obviously. He's definitely not, Gogeta Blue is definitely my favorite unit in the game as of right now. I feel like Majin Vegeta has been replaced as being my favorite unit in the game, but I still absolutely love him to death, honestly. I'll put him at the top of S tier. I'm tempted to maybe put him bottom of SF tier. I think either top of S tier or bottom SS tier, I feel like it's fine enough for me. Obviously, I'm gonna have a little bit more bias towards him just because I absolutely love him. So naturally, I might be more tempted to obviously move him higher and all that, even though many of y'all might not agree. But I don't know. Vegeta Clan is all right. He's probably still the best blue for that team. It's just Vegeta Clan's obviously not the best right now. The meta's okay for him, but at the same time, just I don't know. I'll keep him in S tier. I'll keep him like top of S tier. I think that's fine enough, honestly. If I can move him up if I really want to later, but it's fine. Vegeta and Trunks, I do think they're definitely a solid unit. Definitely not the craziest unit ever compared to like Tag Super Saiyan 4s who released in the same celebration. Definitely not as crazy as this guy. Definitely not as crazy as Beast. Even not better than Future Gohan. I still find Future Gohan just more valuable than Vegeta and Trunks, but you definitely don't underestimate them whatsoever. I do quite like this unit and they can definitely put in work for sure. It's just obviously in comparison to a lot of other units, they kind of fail in comparison, I guess. I don't know. That's mainly the thing. But they're definitely a good unit, and anyone that just outright says they're just trash, I feel like they're wrong, honestly. Like, you definitely don't underestimate this unit. Yeah, they're not the craziest of all time, but they're definitely not bad. They're definitely a solid, good unit. I'll give them that. So that's all I gotta say about them. I definitely do think they're Z tier worthy for sure. I think that's a fine spot for them. Piccolo, A tier. Regen's just not a good team right now, and if you're running a yellow unit, who even is the best yellow for Regen? I don't know, maybe he is, or maybe you're just not even running a yellow in the first place. I don't know, maybe even like Demon King Piccolo might have a bit more value than him just because of the endurance nullification active at all times. I don't know, just Piccolo's not really in the best spot right now. His team needs help, that's all I really gotta say. Just let's move on from him. Dragon Fist. Dragon Fist is definitely not bad. He's not bad. It put him here. Obviously, it definitely does hurt the best unit in the game being purple, so that does affect them, obviously, but I don't know, on the movie team and the right setup and all that, he can definitely still put in work and all that. You know, if you build up his gauge with support, you pop the ultimate, you go neutral, and you drop the combo, especially so the ultimate just does its raw damage. He can definitely still nuke in the right situation. It's just, for the most part, he's just not the craziest ever. He's definitely very fragile. That does hurt him. Again, the best unit in the game being a purple does also affect him as well. I don't know. I'll put him S tier right there. I don't want to underestimate him too heavily, but at the same time, he's also not in the craziest spot ever. So I think that's a fine enough spot for him. I don't know. Kid Buu, he's probably bottom of S, honestly, or maybe even top of A. He's probably, is he the best blue on regen? Maybe, or you could argue Baby over him, honestly, just because Baby, I feel like his support is just better off for the team, to be honest. I don't know, Kid Buu's okay. He's a blast-based character, which is obviously not preferable in a strike-based meta. His ultimate's quite weak. He can definitely still put in work for sure in terms of like blast damage. His Vanish Restoration's definitely a good card draw, so he can combo on for a while. I don't know. I'll keep him in S tier, but probably bottom of S tier. I'll give him that for now, I guess. I don't know. Revolve Gohan, I think top of S tier is a respectable place for him. Yes, you know, he is on movies, it's on Hybrid Saiyan, so you could argue him even higher as SS tier, but I feel like at this point, he's starting to somewhat show age, and also he has been replaced by this guy in movies, so, and also Ultra Broly exists, he's the superior option. Hybrid Saiyans, you're not really running him as a main option, you're mainly running Future Gohan instead, alongside Beast Gohan, and then Pan as your third, so there's that. Again, he can definitely still work. If you're running him, he can definitely still work. I did use him lately alongside Ultra Super Gogeta and Pan in my Ultra Super Gogeta revisit, and post revival he put in a lot of work. He actually did surprise me a decent bit, so I'll give him that. I think he's still a good unit, so I think top of S tier is definitely still fine enough for him, so I'll keep him there. That's a fine place for him. LF Gogeta Blue, I have used him quite a decent bit lately. I've been having fun with him, obviously. He definitely still puts in quite a bit of work, I'm not gonna lie. I'm honestly tempted to put him in S tier, but at the same time, obviously, you know, there's better options on movies. He's quite old at this point, so you could probably put him like top of A tier or like low S tier. I don't know. I think he can definitely still put in work in the right situation. I don't know. Honestly, I might put him here, to be honest. I don't know. I might nice him. Honestly, I do have a little bit more bias towards him because this is my boy Gogeta Blue. Absolutely love using this unit and all that. Easily one of my favorite units in the game, 100%. But I don't know. You know what? I'll keep him there for now. It doesn't really matter. Personally, I'm going to keep him there. He can definitely still put in work in this meta, especially with the best unit in the game being a purple unit. Yes, he does have his ways of going neutral. He can definitely still be an effective counter to him to an extent. The special cover change notification is nice. The green card counter still goes crazy to this day. God Key is definitely a bit more of a better team. Fusion Wars, granted, yes, you're not really using him on Fusion Wars. If you're running God Key, you're running them, so therefore that does affect him, obviously. But I don't know, you can put him, I don't know, I'll keep him there for now. I can change him later if I want to, but for now I'll keep him there. But I might consider changing him, you know, down maybe to 8 or something. I don't know. LF Zenkai Blue Vegeta, I think this is a fine spot for him. Do I think he's better than Majin Vegeta? Nah, I'll do this. At least Majin Vegeta has value in terms of potentially being the best blue for Vegeta Clan. This guy, like, these guys now exist. They're the best green for Vegeta Clan. But this guy can definitely still be a nice sub option. He can definitely still put in work in the right situation. It's just definitely a lot, all the flaws that he had initially when he Zenkai'd, them not giving him any form of special cover change nullification, no endurance nullification in his ultimate, also no blast armor as well in his ultimate. Stuff like that is really coming back to bite him in the ass big time now, because now in a meta full of cover change units, he just can't really combo as freely, therefore he can't ramp up as much, and also his lock-in ultimate, yeah, versus like Beast Gohan can definitely come in clutch for sure, but if you happen to rush him earlier on in the match, if you can't nullify the endurance, also Beast Gohan going defensive neutral, it definitely hurts, and there's been times that Beast Gohan has lived Vegeta's ultimate because of that, so, and again, he's not allowed to ramp up as much as he would prefer just because no special cover change nullification, all that stuff. So he's definitely still a solid unit. You definitely don't want to underestimate him for sure, but he's definitely starting to show some age at this point, and a lot of the flaws he had initially when he was Zenkai are really starting to hurt him big time now. So I still think he's a solid unit though, so I'll put him in S tier. So there's that. I don't know, but do I put him above Dragon? Yeah, I'll put him above Dragon for sure. Might as well. Ultra Broly, top of SS tier. I would put him Z tier, but obviously Gogeta Blue now exists. That's definitely the one downside to Gogeta Blue is he's purple. Purple's definitely not a bad typing for him, but for the sake of movies, we already had Ultra Broly, so it kind of sucks that he already got replaced by this guy, but he's definitely still a good unit. Don't underestimate him whatsoever. Still has a ton of utility in terms of disrupting, a lot of defensive utility overall. Can definitely still put in a lot of work. So overall, a very good unit for sure. Definitely don't underestimate him just because this guy exists. It's obviously this guy's just better. So there's that. But I think the top of SS tier is a fine placement for him. So there's that. Androids, I think here, I think is a fine spot for him. They have some decent value in this match just because endurance location, but outside of that, they're kind of all right at this point. I don't know. They're okay. I don't really need to say much else about them. They can definitely put in work in the right situation, but they're okay at this point. I don't know. They could definitely use a plot equip for sure. Rose, I do think is Z tier. He nullifies endurance. Obviously, is definitely very useful. Is probably his main asset, to be honest, as of right now. He can definitely do some pretty solid damage for sure, obviously, and he works fantastically well in future, obviously, alongside future Gohan and even the brand new Blue Zamasu, obviously. So at least there's that. So I definitely think he's quite valuable this meta. He's definitely pretty solid. So I think giving him Z tier is definitely pretty worthy, honestly. So I'll keep him there, but he's probably gonna end up being like the lower end of Z tier, honestly, personally for me. So there is that. Now, Corrupted Merge Zamasu is next. I don't know. I feel like they fumbled his plot equip, honestly. I still think he's alright. He's definitely not in the craziest spot ever in this meta. There's a couple yellows in this meta that he can maybe counter, but there is a very strong blue being Beast Gohan. I don't know. Gogeta Blue can kind of curb stomp him. I don't know. I think he's probably around here. He has value on Future and God Key. Then again, on Future, I'll probably still argue these guys over him just because endurance nullification and all of that. And obviously, they can at least tag switch. At least they have that. Their green card's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. I think Zamasu, him lacking other ways of going type neutral other than just his green card, and then building his plot equip to be more defensive rather than more offensive oriented, which is what he preferably want to be, definitely does hurt. So I don't know. But even with that, he can still put in work in the right situation. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll put him around here. I could even drop him lower, but I'll put him there. I'll keep him there for now. It's fine. MUI Goku, speaking of another Red God Key character, I don't know. MUI, I'm tempted to put in like S tier. I think like top of S tier though, I think is fine. I'll put him like here, to be honest. I don't know. If you give him a proper plot equip, or at the very least, if you give him a proper Zenkai buffer, maybe at that point he might be really, really good again. Not to say he's bad, it's just he's not in the best spot right now because his team's kind of holding back. No way of going type neutral, and his kit definitely hurts him big time with, you know, a lot of powerful blue units existing in the meta and all that. So that's definitely the main thing that's probably holding him back right now. I don't know. You give him a really good buff in the form of a good Zenkai buffer. Maybe you finally Zenkai Red God Goku so you can use him on God Key and have a proper Zenkai buffer over there. Or you give him a plot equip and maybe give him some form of type neutral on that. Then he'll be cooking for sure. But as of right now, he can definitely still put in work for sure. I do want to revisit him just to see how he's kind of holding up in the current meta. God Key did get a buff, so at least there's that, I guess. I don't know. Do I put him above Revival Gohan? Nah, I'll keep him around there. I think that's a fine place. But at least Revival Gohan might be a little better off in this meta. He has, granted, I know not many people are running him on hybrid, saying it's just better units to run, but he can be ran that team, and he can definitely put in work for sure. So I don't know. There's that. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Let's just leave it like that for now. Ultra Kaioken Blue Goku, probably around this range, to be honest. I'll probably put him at least above Dragon Fist. Probably around this range. I think this is fine. Do I put him above Vegeta? And I would put him above Vegeta, but at least Vegeta does have the advantage in the fact that he still is the main green for Future, and actually not Future, sorry, at least God Key. Kaioken is not the main yellow for God Key. Obviously Vegeta and Trunks also are the main yellow for that team. So at least there's that. That's the only reason I'll probably put him above Kaioken Goku. But outside of that, I don't know. At least Kaioken has ways of obviously nullify special cover change. You can keep a combo going for quite a while. Insane Vanish Restoration. The strike ceiling can definitely be big. Actually, you know what? I'll put him above Vegeta. I'll put him above Vegeta. The strike ceiling can definitely be pretty good. Special cover change nullification at the very least when he pops his main ability. He is at least yellow, so he can somewhat counter the best unit in the game, I guess. So you know what, I'll give him the benefit of doubt in that aspect, but it's around the same. It's kind of close. I don't know, I'll put him around there. I think it's a fine spot for him. Ultra Super Gogeta, you know, let's rank Ultra Super Gogeta and Ultra Super Gogeta together. Ultra Super Gogeta, like I said previously, he wasn't really top 10 worthy for me, but obviously if he did end up getting a massive buff to one of his teams, let's say Fusion Warriors, in the form of an Ultra Gogeta Blue, which we did get, and well, of course, he did end up getting buffs, so therefore, I do think he is top 10 worthy yet again, so he is, of course, going to be in Z tier. I think this is a fine spot for him. I would move him up a little bit higher, but I think some of these characters do have a little bit more value, and I do kind of see them a bit better than him as of right now. And honestly, I would actually probably put Vegito even higher than Gogeta, maybe even above Vegeta and Trunks, to be honest, personally for me. I think Vegito in this meta currently has better value overall, just because even versus teams like GT, he's a lot more suited for those matchups compared to Gogeta, at least, just because Gogeta has to deal with Type Advantage versus Type 4s. Vegito doesn't deal with any of that. He has the endurance at the very least. He can definitely be pretty defensive. So therefore, I do think he has the slight edge versus Ultra Super Gogeta, but you could definitely argue Ultra Super Gogeta above him. But at least for me personally, I would put Vegito above Gogeta as of right now. I just think he's a bit better off in the meta right now overall. So that's my take on them, I guess. I don't know. So those are my thoughts. They're going to be there in Z tier. Regardless, they're both very, very good units as of right now, indeed. So there's that. Blue Goku and Vegeta. I don't know. Like, yeah, the God Key got a buff, cool. They got replaced though by Ultra Gogeta Blue. They're not really core on God Key whatsoever. Mono Purple, if you're still running that team, I'm sorry. Mono Purple, yeah, this guy now exists, but it's still not really a proper team, and I wouldn't really recommend running it, to be honest. I don't know. They're okay, I guess. They can still potentially put in work in the right situation, but for the most part, they definitely do need a plot equip, and they've shown their age at this point. So honestly, I might actually drop him down to A tier, probably like top of A tier, honestly. Do I put him above G4? I'll do this. I'll do this. At least G4 is maybe a little bit better off somewhat. I don't know. Yeah, I'll put G4 above them. I don't know. Goku and Vegeta at this point, they just need help. If they get a plot equip, I don't know if a plot equip's really going to be enough at this point to make them better than like Ultra Gogeta Blue, but at the very least, just make them properly usable again at the very least. I don't know. Just as of right now, they're not in the greatest spot. Am I being too harsh on them? I don't know. They're just not really that great right now. Simple as that. I don't know. Let's just move on from them. LF Earthworm Frieza, again, a character I don't really use that often, but he can definitely still be valuable for sure. There's quite a few yellows though in the meta. I don't know, I'll probably put him around here. At the very least, he's still valuable for LOE. Support stuff is pretty good. So I don't know, I think around that spot, around S tier, I think that's a fine enough spot for him for me personally. I don't know, there's that at least for me. I don't know, I think he's there. LF Super Vegito, probably same thing. The only reason I would maybe even keep him in S tier is mainly just for his value of being a wonderful bench unit for Ultra Gogeta Blue, sorry. Obviously, Zenkai buffing and his Z ability is just ridiculously good, obviously given that strike attack and defense and HP buff. So at least there's that. Outside of that, use it in terms of actually like using him in battle and his kit and all that. He's obviously aged at this point. He's more so just a support type unit at this point rather than an actual damage dealer. Obviously at this point he's purple, so therefore Gogeta Blue exists, so he's been replaced as well. So yeah, I don't know, I think S tier is fine enough just for his value as a bench unit, but outside of that, that's really it, to be honest. So I don't know, there's that. Sort of up Trunks, honestly, I'll put him in S tier, but probably bottom of S tier. He can still have value in future, but he's been replaced obviously by Zamasu. He can put in work in the right situation, but I don't know. For the most part, he's okay, I guess, but I definitely don't underestimate him too heavily, I guess. So I'll put him there, I guess. I don't know. Namek Goku, I'll put a top of A tier. I'll put a top of A. I'll put him like here. I'll put him at least above Blue Goku and Vegeta, honestly. Do I actually put him above Blue Goku and Vegeta? Nah, I don't know. I'll put him below Goku and Vegeta. I don't know. Namek Goku can definitely still put in work in the right situation. His blue card counter can definitely be very, very useful indeed. If you're able to play with him correctly, he can still be a threat, but for the most part, he has aged at this point. So there is that. I guess, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Let's just put him there. And then final unit, LF Green Trunks. Let's put him in SS tier. I think this is a fine spot for him. He's definitely a good unit for sure, but obviously in terms of hybrid Saiyans, he's not really like a core option. Again, it's just better off to run Future Gohan, Pan, and Beast He's definitely a good bench unit for sure, and you can run him on Hybrid Saiyans as core, and he can definitely put in work for sure. Although, obviously, again, Gogeta Blue now exists, so there's a very powerful purple in the meta that can counter this guy. So, but then again, he has his ways of going neutral. The 2 ultimates can definitely be nice for sure. I don't know. I think SS tier is a fine enough spot for him, so there's that. And yeah, with that being said, that's pretty much all tier. So let me just double check real quick to see if I might change some stuff. Z plus tier, I think, is perfectly fine. Z tier, I think, is fine enough. SS tier, I think, is honestly fine enough for me personally. S tier, I'm still somewhat thinking about this, but I think it honestly can stay the way it is. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, that much. I think S tier is fine enough. A tier, I think, is fine enough, and then B tier doesn't really matter, to be honest. I think it's fine enough. So yeah, with that being said, definitely let me know what you guys think about the tier list. Again, you can feel free to disagree, agree with my takes or whatnot. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. It's my opinion at the end of the day. You can feel free to disagree or agree, whatever you feel like it. But yeah, with that being said, I guess I'll be back in a month from now, I guess, whenever the next LF releases, which is definitely going to be very interesting to see exactly how the first LF of 2023 is going to be designed and who exactly it's going to be. So definitely looking forward to that, obviously, so stay tuned for that. But with that being said, though, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a great one, y'all.